May is coming, which means the Messy May Art Journal Challenge hosted by Get Messy. I will link the details below. And obviously that's a great excuse for a new journal, because why not? So I picked up this book at the library a couple of weeks ago in the $1 bin. Love it. I've loved this book since I first borrowed it from the library about a decade ago. So I'm going to flick through here, and I think I'm going to try and make one of these books for Messy May. So let's take a flick through and we can get stuck in. The book is called The Handmade Book. Let's just take a flick through. It's super helpful with lots of great information. Handmade paper book. Oh, it's got a dowel on the spine. No. I mean, that could be cute. So it's just like a traditional case-bound book. And it can be done with a single section, which could be helpful, or I could do 2 sections. So I'm going to do 8 sheets to make 32 pages. So maybe if I did it, like I could do that as 2 sections of 4, and that gives me room to breathe. And so I do like this because it'll give me that thickness I found with last year's, which I have shared here on YouTube previously. It got very thick very quickly. So this is just a W fold. So looking at that, that looks like that could be ideal to get some thickness going out too. Oh, I like that idea actually. Obviously I wouldn't do it quite like that. Okay, so let's try that one. Ribbon bound, multi-section. Multi-section is handy. Look how pretty that is. The stitching goes over the ribbons. I've made this book 2 or 3 times now, and it's so cute. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. It's on my blog. I'll link it below. I don't want a wooden spine, so we'll skip that one. Zigzag binding. So is it just like an accordion book? That could be cute. A fuchsia star book. The book is a 7-pointed star structure made of 3 different sized papers. Is that more fancy though than I need it to be? But then I guess you're kind of opening those up so it'd be like, say, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. So I wonder if I could do that with an 8-star grouping. That could work. I guess there's no reason why I couldn't, because see, that's a 4 and that's a 7. I think I'm going to go with this one just to keep it nice and simple. So let's pull out some stuff and get making. So for the main pages, I'm going to use, it says 3 sheets because I want 8 leaves. I'm going to use this mixed media paper because then it gives me lots of options because it's for an art journal. But I'm thinking I'll cut it to A5 and then fold it to make an A6 journal, which is roughly what I did last year. So I need 4 of these sheets. 1, 4. So I'll get those out. 2 sheets of coloured paper for end papers. So you can see here the end paper kind of just wraps around that spine there. I'm just trying to decide, do I really need an end paper? It only goes around by 10 mil, so it could be cute. Let's take a look at what I've got in my pattern paper box. I mean, even that could be cute, and it's double-sided, so I don't quite have, that's not going to be quite wide enough, I don't think. So I'm going to need 2 sheets. So I could potentially do like 2 different end papers. Yeah, because the other one has been cut out in parts. It's going to be too the wrong size. Could be cute. Oh, those scissors. That could work since it's an art journal. Okay, I'll think about that. I'm just reluctant to pick something that's going to lock me in too much for the vibe of my journal. Maybe I just need to, oh, they're pretty. These are from a previous book binding. So they're actually handmade paper, so they're really pretty. Lots of different bits of past collections in here. And that could work. But that's also just a really good print. I do also need to pick something for the cover, but I may just do just a plain craft paper. So these are from a mini book that I did in like 2009 that I've still got. That could work, except it's like shiny and yuck. So I don't know why I've actually still got that. Basic grey, back from when that was popular. Okay, you know what? I think I'm actually going to just skip. I'm going to skip the end papers. I just feel like anything in here is actually just going to lock in my journal vibes. The colours of that are pretty though. but then I don't know what I would use for the second page, for the back. Maybe that one? Okay, let's do it. Why not? What's the point of trying something from a book if I'm not going to follow it, hey? Okay, so end papers. 1 sheet of watercolor paper, so that's the cover. Oh, right here at the very top of my cardstock box is my favorite craft, unless I pick a color that goes with my papers. But again, I don't want to risk locking myself in. But also, like, all these papers in here, I haven't touched for literal years. But that one's quite pretty and works with that. However, that also goes with that 2009 thing. But I've also got two. Oh, look, see, that one's got a cut in it. So I wonder. So I'm not going to use that for a background. Is that the right color? Almost. So many in here. I've got all these from back in my early scrapbooking days when we would use. That's close but not quite. It's still a bit too saturated. When we would use like these colored cardstocks for the actual backgrounds, and I mainly use white now, so I don't use these. There, that one. I think that's really close. All right. So I've kept them for ages because it's handy to have, but I also get stuck in a cycle of not wanting to waste them. I'm just like, I don't even use them. So it's handy for things like this, and there's no point having stuff that I'm not going to use. Hang on, what about? I feel like I had that for something specific, but I've also cut parts of it. So that could be cute. All right, I'll get that one out, and then I can decide down the track. And then, yeah, and then I'll grab one of these. So, coloured polyester thread. So that would be the thread to bind it with, but I'm actually just going to grab my needlework box, if I can get it down. I look like I've got lots of, so that could even, oh, I don't even know what that's from and why it's loose, but anyway, it could work. So I'm just having a bit of a look through the loose stuff. So I've got heaps of like bags like this that my great aunt gave me. Now what colour is, there's a dark, the black, so there's even that purple there, which kind of is that one there. So I'll get that. Just wouldn't mind finding something in that blue. Something like that blue, tealy colour. Black and white, plenty of that. Okay. So I've got that, but that's more a denim colour than a teal, but it could work because I wouldn't use it with the blue cardstock. So I'll grab those out. What's this box here? I don't think there's any blues in it. This is my wool and silk ribbon. Those silk ribbons actually go with that really well. I can't bind with silk ribbon though, could I? That'd be silly. Would it? Would it really? I'm going to need someone to talk me off the ledge because that actually sounds really cool. I'll put it there just in case. Let's start with that and see how we go. Let's get these out of the way. What are we doing first? Begin by making the two sections. So that's this. So I'm first going to need to get my paper cutter, open it up, and we're going to cut them into A5s. So it's fairly thick. It's 200 GSM paper. So I'm going to cut it just in twos instead of all four at once. Okay, let's pop that away for now. Okay, so two sections. Cut 2 pieces of paper. Oh, sorry, cut 6 pieces of paper so they measure that, but we're adjusting. Fold each sheet exactly in half. I also need my bone folder, which is over here on my tool board. So it says to make 2 sections with 3 folios each. Okay, so there's one signature. So potentially I will trim those. Potentially I'm just going to leave it because it's messy May after all. And when I'm doing art journaling like this, I do tend to have lots of things hanging out the side. I cannot believe this is day 28 of VEDA. So I've done 4 weeks of a video a day. I am publishing them a little bit behind schedule because life has been particularly life-ish this month. that's okay. I've still got them done. I've still made 28 videos that I have not made at the start of the month, and it's been amazing. It's been so good for my productivity to push me to get stuff done so I've got things to film. Okay, so there's my 2 signatures. Step 2, cut 2 pieces of coloured paper for the ends. So we know that these are 14.8 high, and so they've gone from 210, so half of that is 10.5, but we've got that little overlap. So I'm actually going to go 11. So I'm going to cut them. So I need to cut it 14 wide. Oh, that is so close to the right height. I need to go the other way, don't I, so that I can get that actual measurement. Okay, yeah, so that measures at 10.8. So 11, if I cut it at 11.8, that should get me what I need. Okay, so I'm actually going to cut both of my pieces together. They can go back into my container. I'm actually going to still put those over in my little bowl I have over here. So that's my 2 end papers. Do I want this one for the back as like a... Oh, far out, gave myself a heart attack. So do I want that inside the cover just as like a title page? Do I want that as the title page? And I think I want this at the front. So cut edge there, push them all together, and I'm just going to fold that over. Just make sure that's all still nice and square. There we go. So that's the first one. So that's just folded over there. So I'm sure when I come to this page, I can come up with something to incorporate that in the day's thing. So we'll do the same for the other one. I've just done that, and I've just realized I actually wanted to do it the other way around, because when I get to the end, I'll be working on here, and I wanted that on the inside. That's all right. Just fold that the other way like that. Feels a little bit not quite right. Anyway, I can trim that down. So that's my 2 signatures done, so they'll be like that. I'm kind of glad I decided to do the end papers. Okay, so with those done, the nice and neat spines with the end papers, I need to cut my cover. So I've actually got to make a decision now. I don't want to make a decision. So these are my options. I mean, that pink is pretty and it does match my thing, but that, I don't think that's doing it for me. It ties in really well with that, so I should remember it for next time I actually use these papers to get this out. But I feel like for a whole journal, it's no. Not for me, I don't think. The blue, which was the first one I picked out, which has, I mean, it's definitely got potential, but I don't know, it still feels like a lot. Feels like a lot, especially when I feel like it's not necessarily a colour I will use inside the journal. So that's my choices. Is the craft or the green? I mean, to me, the craft makes sense because then it gives me like a blank slate to decorate. But then I did craft last year, so maybe the green, and then I could do like a tag in this or some white or something. All right, I'm going to go with the green just because it's different to what I normally do. So I need to cut it the same height. So again, that 14.8 of that. These were 210, so they basically added an extra inch. So 210 to 230, 240. 240 might be ideal. So it has already had some cut off it. So that's 25 centimeters. I'm going to go that as my width and then cut it. You can see it's actually got some sun staining on it, which I will put on the back. It's the same on this end as well, so it's not going to really matter which way I cut it. Okay, and I'm actually going to go a neat 15. Just gives me just a little bit of extra space just to protect the pages a little bit. So just looking at these dots, so that's the outside. So this is the inside. These are my favorite pencils, the Black Wings. Mark a line down the center. So what did I say? It was 25. I think it needs to fold out. I think it needs to fold out like that because then I'll fold it back in again. Instead of measuring, it's a half an inch. It's a bit more than 10 mil. Like 10 mil is 3/8, but I'm thinking because it's so chunky, no, that might be all right. I'm just thinking if it starts filling out. Okay, so if I do half an inch, let's actually check if that will fit. Yes, that's still going to give me Let's go 1/2 inch, because even once I get these signatures in, there's still excess, which will protect my pages on the outside. And it gives me just a little bit of extra room for growing. I'm actually just going to use that ruler to help guide that fold. And let's do the same on this side. Wow, something's gone a little bit wobbly there, so I'm just going to try and wriggle those folds to get them to behave. Okay, so there we go. Ah. And then I can just pop these in here. Oh, that's going to look so cute. So now I need to, I've got my awl is just here. My awl, and then I need to find my binding needles. I think they're in my sewing box. I'll have a look. Indeed, it was in my sewing box. So I'll use this thread, mark the spine where the sewing holes will be. So I'm actually going to grab one of these sections. I'm going to mark it and then use it. Okay, it's out by 1/8 of an inch at the bottom. I don't care. So I'll pop these in. So I'll do them one at a time and line them up. So sometimes I actually will stick this in the spine of a phone book or something, like straight down like that, and open it up to support it to punch straight down. But because of the W, I'm just going to go through on an angle like this. So with those holes all punched now, I think I'm just going to use my pink because it's super cute. I don't even know why it's not in its thing. So we'll go a double length, and I'm going to split it. I'm going to ply it into 3 strands, so that'll give me 2 sections, one for front, one for back. And I'm just going to do a straight sew up and down. So I might pop you on fast forward while I do that so you don't get bored. That is done. Super cute. I've just got that pink stitching there. It's quite chunky already, so I feel like possibly tonight I'm going to stick it under a nice heavy book. I'm not too concerned about it being too flat because it's going to get filled up with lots of yummy collage stuff. I would potentially like to put a kind of a tie on it. I did have a tie and a flap on last year's book. It feels like it just needs a bit of a closure. I will also need to do the front, but aside from that, I think I'm ready. I even have the prompts printed, ready to go. They will go up here on my inspiration board directly in front of me, which you can't see right now. I'll pop those up there. There's even a bonus prompt, so 32 pages, 32 prompts. I am really excited. I can't wait to see how it fills up. Thanks for joining me for today's video, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video.